Hello, people. Hope everyone's doing good on this Sunday, and I'm here to review the Grimsby Town versus Barnet game as good as I possibly can. Um, uh, it's Town's second defeat of the season. It ended Barnet 3, Grimsby Town nil. And enough said. I'll see you next time. Bye. Um, but nah, it's not one of these games where I think we've got to sort of all lose our minds over. Uh, but the performance was dreadful. It was dreadful. I mean, the starting 11 was sort of as you'd expect. Christy Pym was in goal, Harvey Rogers, Terrell Warren, Cam McJanet, and Staunton, Reece Staunton. George McEachran, Justin Malazor, Jamie Walker came in for Kieran Green. Uh, Evan Corey, Charles Burnham, and Jays Cabia. Um, they were the 11 that started against, a decent Barnet side. A very, very decent Barnet side. But us, I honestly gave man of the match to the goalkeeper, Christy Pym. We were that poor in truth. It could have been 5 or 6, and that's not an exaggeration. It is without doubt probably the worst. What it was, the worst performance this season from Grimsby Town. Go back to something that Artel said a couple of weeks ago. No team has outplayed us. Well, they did. They did then. Let's be honest. They were at us from minute one. Yes, we obviously did miss Kevin Green in the middle, Hergy in the middle. We did miss that, but that no excuse for the the inept performance that we gave. We barely strung any passes together, and it somehow how we got to 40 minutes without conceding a goal is beyond me. Um, the ball was being moved around beautiful by Barnet. It was Christy Pym had been tested 2 or 3 times. A couple of good saves by Christy to keep it level, and then just before half time, off a ball, hit a shot. It came to him sort of like near the corner of the box. He took a shot, and he didn't hit it cleanly, but we all sort of the players just went to sleep really, and he took a bit of a pot shot, but it went over everybody. Everybody was looking, thinking, "Where's it going to go?" And it ended up going over Christy Pym's head and into the goal. Mark Shelton with the assist there, and then. You're sort of very frustrated because just before that, Charles Burnham had a decent chance been put through, and really just didn't connect with it at all, and it went sort of miles wide, and you're thinking, okay, you 1-0 down, you haven't played well all half, and we hadn't. And you're thinking, okay, the lads will come out and regroup and respond. That didn't happen. So much so, Leon Love scored a very well worked goal by Barnet and slotted it sort of in after a bit of a lapse defensively. No one seemed to know what was going on, and obviously Idris Kanu, after the mistake, put the ball across for Unlove and he tapped it in lovely. And Boa claimed the second goal, getting a beautiful strike to make it 3, just literally 3 minutes later. And Barnet coasted, absolutely coasted to that win. And I think really you've got to give Barnet all the credit in the world. They were better than us in every single aspect. Every single aspect. It was difficult to watch. It was difficult to, it was difficult to not just watch but to think, this is the poorest time where nobody played well. You have to say Christie because, like I said, there was numerous other chances for Barnet throughout the game that really could and probably should have been buried. If we'd have lost that 6-0, I wouldn't have been, to be honest with you, I wouldn't have been shocked. I wouldn't have been surprised. We were that poor. And David Attell said as much in the post-match interview. He said that was nowhere near who we are or what we are. Well, that's what we were. And like I said, it's not about losing our heads, about losing to Barnet. I had Barnet in the playoffs in my overall predictions, so Barnet were a good side and they showed that. But I would say we were inept. We were the lads had nothing. Every single pass that we did do, everyone's first touch was just off, and it was a bad day at the office. Let's be blunt, it was a bad day at the office. What we can't afford to do is let that carry on and manifest. We can't allow that. We have to, put this one to the side really, and just go. This is proof that if you don't turn up, and again, this is something else Artel said in his post-match, if you don't turn up, you will get turned over. But it was just how easily we got turned over in this game. We gifted, or felt like we gifted Barnet the 3 points. Like I always said that you want, you can accept defeats. And I accept that because it's the first time that we really haven't performed at all in an entire 90 minutes, Again, talking about, was it the cup win against Sheffield Wednesday? Was this a hangover from that? I'm not going to use that as an excuse either. It was just a bad performance, and it's one of those that, like I said, you can accept if a team you feel like they really had to work for that win. Barnet haven't had to work for that win at all. They were, like I said, they were on us from minute one. Uh, we were just completely off it, and to have a scoreline like that, you can't really have any arguments with. If we just briefly look at the stats from the game, you can tell how dominant Barnet were. Not so much in possession, but they had 19 shots altogether in the game. 5 on target. Grimsby had 7 and only 1 on target. And here's a stat that proves the dominance of Barnet. Total touches inside the opposition's box. We had 16. They had 46. I think that in itself proves the point. You got Christie had to make 2 saves during the game. Their goalkeeper had 1 save to make. Fouls committed, 9-6 in Barnet's favour. But 9 corners. I don't know where we created 4 corners from, but it didn't feel like we did. We did, but it didn't feel like it. The passes, there was only 9 passes difference, but less than 55% of the passes went where they were meaning to go. Only 31 back passes, 33 for Barnet, 160 forward passes, 158. Man, there's not much in the possession and distribution of it, apart from successful final third passes. They were near enough double what we were. We went long, probably the most we've gone long all season, and we just looked I'm not going to use we looked tired, we just were not good. And Barnet coming away with a well-deserved win. The disappointing thing is we didn't make them work for it. We literally gifted them. Gifted a good side. They've only lost 1 of their last 6. So they are informed, Barnet. But we should have done a lot better than that. And it's one of those things that we have to move on from. I always say, when you lose a game, it's not losing the game, it's how you respond to it. And I think, like I said earlier, we did miss Kevin Green. His energy and his forward-thinking process and player that he is, but that's not the reason why we lost. We lost because we just were not good enough. And I do respect David Artell for saying what he said, because he definitely wasn't lying on that. It was the worst performance, definitely worst performance of the season. Probably our worst performance in the last 6 months, to be honest. And that's all I don't like is that if you beat Grimsby, make teams earn it. Don't just gift them a position like that. But if you did go to Barnet, do let me know what you guys thought. There was 3,260 in the crowd yesterday, and then of 1,000 Grimsby supporters, and I know for certain that David was very, very apologetic in his post-match, and we're just honest that that's not who we are. But unfortunately, yesterday, as I talked about it yesterday, it was. Grimsby were like that, and it's now we have to put this behind us, and we have to move on to the next game, which is next week. No midweek game for the Mariners, but we go to no, we don't. We host. Apologies. We host Cheltenham, who have, as of last night, did sack manager Michael Flynn. So it's important for the lads next week to give us a performance, because you cannot play like that at any level. Expect to get away with it, but it is what it is. So very disappointed on my end, and I'm sure other Mariners fans feel the same. Let me know what you think down below. It's not worth hitting the panic button. No worth really going off about it. It was a bad day at the office, but I think it wouldn't surprise me if the dressing room was a bit blue yesterday afternoon. As Arto did say, I don't normally shout at them, but it was not. I think they needed a bit of a dressing down. And I'm sure the lads know it themselves anyway. But any club, you give a performance like that, you have to expect, to get shouted at, because it's just, when you give teams goals the way we did yesterday, it just, it is what it is. So we have to put a line under this, and let me know what you thought about the game down below. Like, share, subscribe, comment. Of course, go and see the live that my friend Ryder did. Do go and see that. He did that straight after the game. Do go and check that out. But leave me your thoughts down below as well, and what you felt of the game, and it'll be interesting to see the people's responses to this. But to put a positive spin on this, this hasn't happened much in start of this season, but that is the first time where we have been well and truly beaten. There's no sugarcoating it. We were well and truly, we had our asses handed to us, really. Let's be completely honest. So let me know your thoughts down below and what you think. Like, share, subscribe, as I've already said, and I will see you in the preview for Cheltenham. And hopefully the ladies can keep the positivity up. Why not? But I'll let you know how they get on in the next video as well. In the meantime, guys, hope the Mariners, and let's just move on from this quickly, shall we? I'll see you guys in the next one. Ta-da.